Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are back on Forza Horizon 4 and we'll be checking out the new update for Forza Horizon 4 in May 2019. First of all, we'll go and check out the Forzathon shop, see what bits and pieces there are. So we have got the Aston Martin Vulcan FE, and the interesting one is the 2005 Lotus Elise 111S. That Lotus, if we skip over here, is a wheelspin exclusive vehicle, so I would recommend buying that if you don't have one already, as they're quite rare to find. They're not as rare as others. I have seen, he's seen them on the occasion, turning up about 3 or 4 of them at a time on the auction house, but I don't know how rare they are at this moment. But yeah, if you don't have one, I recommend buying that one immediately. Then there's the festival playlist this month, and this week even, and I thought that was pretty nasty. One recommendation I will give you is don't bother doing the Horizon story. It took me about an hour to do it, and it only gave me about 5 to 10%, so it was worthless. You might as well just do a speed camera on a speed stunt jump, and that takes a few minutes, and you get pretty much the same skills. So I really wouldn't bother doing the story at all. And I find the stories really boring, linear, and pointless. So I only did it thinking it was going to take up like 25% of the percentage, but it didn't. It just did like 10%, if that. So yeah, I really wouldn't bother doing that. But for the rest, yeah, they're all right. Normal stuff. The Showcase remix wasn't that hard either, so that was good. The one I am dreading, looking into the future though, is spring. We have not spring, not winter either. Where am I? Yes, it is spring. I thought it was. Yeah. Here we will receive the Apollo IE, or the Gumpet, as I like to call it, as it is effectively kind of a Gumpet. That is only available while doing a time through that trial race or a cooperative race. That's not very nice. I really don't like them races. You have to go online and you have to find people to race with, and it's horrible. You're relying on other people to get your car, and it's the worst thing ever. So I really don't like you, Turn 10, for doing that. That was rather mean. But we've got a couple of weeks to prepare for that. But this week we have got the Morris Traveller and the VW Type 2 FE. Not particularly interesting vehicles this week. A lot of effort to get these, and I can't say they're the most interesting. If it was perhaps maybe the Apollo being there, that would have been a bit more worthwhile, the hours of effort I put in. It must have been at least 3 hours of effort to get this car, so yeah, not brilliant. On the other hand, though, we have got another car, though, the Mini Cooper convertible, which we'll check out in a moment. That was just available for a dirt race, which I thought was a bit of a rubbish dirt race, because we was driving really rare, lovely classic cars over dirt and gravel, and I thought that was really rubbish. So yeah, that was quite an annoying race, that one. Just because it's just been weird driving such nice old cars on dirt and smashing through water and that, it just felt weird. Nevertheless, we have unlocked the 2 cars eventually after 3 hours of work, and we'll start with the Morris. Now, weirdly, this is actually a Morris. I was expecting it to be either an Austin or a Mini, but it's actually a Mini Traveller of the one down here. As you can see, a minor Traveller down there, and of course a Austin Mini Traveller here. I don't know the history of these. Maybe perhaps Morris took it over and made the Traveller version. Maybe they're exclusive Traveller versions. I don't know. Maybe even Morris made the left-hand drives. We're going to have to find out. So before we check out the Falls of Vista, this lighting is really weird. It's like a pink evening sky, which doesn't really help with our colour choices. Whoops, wrong one. Where am I? Here we go. I haven't played this game for a long time. I feel like I'm a bit lost. Right, so colour-wise, we've got this beige, as you can just about recognise. Then we've got a red, I meant to say like a racing green, but it's like a matte racing green, which looks really weird. Got a nice blue, that's actually quite a pleasant looking blue. And we've got a grey, and I think I'm going to go for the blue because I quite like that. It's very, very nice. Right, save that. Right, let's go and check out on the Forza Vista after it's loaded up. It takes a while to load this thing for some reason. Right, open it up. Spin round the back first of all. Yes, this is like the main focus of this vehicle. Not a lot of boot space, but then what do you expect from a car this size? It's definitely not bad at all. Can't jump in the rear seats. It's got no rear doors, but we can jump in the front. We'll jump in the steering driving position, and there we are. It's a Mini with a Morris steering wheel. But not really a lot to say, really, apart from the fact it's very 60s, back to basics. Not a lot of things to go wrong. Just a couple of dials and a gear stick. Right, so it's good to see the fact the interior is the correct colour. Lately, for some reason, Turn 10 seems to make the leather a weird grey colour, which really doesn't suit the car at all. And it's not original either, which is just annoying. I don't expect this thing to be fast. I don't expect it to sound particularly good. I'm just expecting it to sound like the Morris Traveller does in the game. Well, there we go. This thing is very, very, very slow, as expected, but I wasn't expecting it to be this slow. It does sound very similar to the Morris. It's a very suitable sound, I would say, considering that how terrible the car sounds have been in this game lately. This isn't bad. It's a little bit generic, but it's good enough. I would have said, good enough is a good praise for this game, considering how rubbish it's been lately. The handy thing is with this, it's such a small, compact little thing. You can nip in between traffic quite easily. I'm only going to drive to the other house that's just around the corner, as we'll be here for like 300 years if we're trying to go all the way around my large circuit that I normally do. But at the moment, if we jump into first person, we're going just over 90 miles an hour, nearly 100 miles an hour. Yeah. Not really much to say about this, to be honest. Apart from the fact it's slow, it looks cool, sounds alright, and it took a lot of effort to get it. I'm a little bit sort of stunned and a bit worn out from the effort that I had to put in to get the percentage. That's because I spent so much time doing that story, thinking it was going to be a major player in the percentage, but it wasn't. It was just like 10%, which I thought was a total waste of time. Well, there's the Mini Traveller, which, yeah, not really a lot to say about it, to be honest, apart from the fact it's pretty cool. If you like old cars like this, which I do, it's very cool. Although I won't drive it very often, because it can be a little bit lame in this game. We've got slow cars like this, but it's cool to have anyway. We go over to Mini now, which is the second new car of the week. We have got the John Cooper Works convertible, the 2018. I didn't realise it was this modern. I thought it was a little bit older than that, but oh well. I'm not really up to date on the old Minis. I think this one's the one with the British flags on the tail lights. Yes, it is. I saw one of these the other day, but it wasn't a John Cooper Works, but I saw one of these with the Great British flags as tail lights, which is brilliant. Brilliant little design, that. I do like that a lot. Let's have a look at the colours. I think the British Racing Green suits it quite well, so I think we'll probably keep it in that colour. But we'll just have an exploration, see what we got. One thing I forgot to check was the customisation on the other one, but I'm not sure if that's going to be particularly necessary. Got a few colours here. Oh, I quite like the blue. I'm liking blue at the minute, but then it's got red stitching on the interior, or red lining around the interior, so you don't really want that. So blue and red I don't think matches very well. So it looks like the main colour really is going to be this British Racing Green or red. Does suit red quite well. Yeah, I think we'll keep it in green. Why not? Be a bit different. If we jump into the Forza Vista, can the roof go up and down? Because sometimes they've implemented a animation so the roof can go up and down, but I don't think it's going to happen with this one. Possibly the little sign come up then, or am I just imagining things? We've got the door there. Yeah, no animation for the roof, which is a little bit unfortunate. But then again, I don't think it's a power roof. It might be just a normal. It must be a power roof. It looks like a power roof to me. Let's open it up and have a look around. I do like these mini bonnets where the headlight cover sort of comes up with it, so it leaves the headlights. Engine-wise, not much to look at, to be honest. It's just beauty plating, really, with some John Mini Cooper Works BMW. Is that BMW power turbo down there? Twin power turbo is what it says down there. Because, of course, Mini is owned by BMW. Spin round here. Let's have a look at the boot. Well, the teeniest little boot ever. Just enough for a couple of bags of shopping, really. All reserved for the roof, all that space, really. And rear seats. Let's jump in the driver's seat, which the steering wheel is on the wrong side of the car, which is unfortunate, considering it's a British car with British flags on the back and in Britain, and the steering wheel's on the wrong side, which is kind of a bugbear for me, in a way. It doesn't really impact me when it's like British cars like this. It really does impact me. And unfortunately, it's not a manual either. With a car like this, you would expect it to be a manual, but I suppose the flapping paddles are a bit quicker in transitioning between gears. Interior-wise, though, it's a good-looking thing. Very Mini-like. I like the switches and that. They look really cool. And I do like the way that where the speedometer normally is like a sat-nav screen instead, which I think uses the space a little bit better than a giant speedometer like the older like Minis from the 2002 era or something like that. So yeah, that's it for the interior. And let's have a look at the customization briefly. I can't imagine there'd be much. And then we'll give it a drive. I don't know what it sounds like, but we can find out in a minute. I have a funny feeling I know what it's going to sound like, but we'll see. So it's got the usual canards and things at the front, and the usual spoiler that looks like it's totally and utterly worthless behind the roof there. So yeah, customization wise, not brilliant, but then I didn't really expect anything else. And let's give it a drive. We'll go back to the other house game, we'll complete the circuit what we didn't do in the Morris. As expected, I was imagining it was going to sound like this. Very generic. They use it for every single sort of hot hatch-ish kind of vehicle. Like the A45 AMG, the Vauxhall Corsa from last week actually had this noise. But then again, with Forza being terrible at their engine sounds lately, I'm not really surprised. The other day, it must have been about 2 days ago when Turn 10 did their live stream. They gave us a sob story of all their car sound process and why they didn't really say anything. They just sort of gave us the process, and it was saying, oh, it's so difficult. Like you got to find the cars, and then you got to try and record them, and then if it's raining, it has to be cancelled, and then you can't ask the driver to rev his car up too much and all that sort of thing. Just giving us an old sob story, but I am giving them no sympathy because the game was perfect in Horizon 3. The car sounds were very, very good. Horizon 2, a lot of the cars were very good there as well. And now the transition to this game and it's just total crap. So I don't give them any sympathy at all because they've just ruined a game that could have possibly been so much better. Back to the car though, it's very, very mini. You've got lots of understeer, lots of front wheel spin. And if you throw it into too many corners, the back end sticks out a little bit. But yeah, it's actually quite nice to handle. And then again, cars don't really feel that different on this game, really. They don't ever really feel drastically different. The only thing this game really is missing is the supercharger noise. I'm not quite sure whether this particular one's supercharged, but in the trailer they made like a supercharged noise for the Minis. And then they don't implement it into the game. I just find that a little bit irritating. The best way of describing it. Yeah, at the moment you can probably tell I'm not particularly liking this game very much. It's getting on the brink of just really annoying me. I'm really considering just not buying the next Forza because it's just getting on my nerves. But we're not in the next game yet. We're still talking about this one. And there's the two new cars. The both of them, well, both Minis. Well, Mini-ish. One's an Austin Morris Mini. And then we got this one, which is the John Cooper Works. The Morris is a good car, but it's a little bit slow. I can't imagine that being used very much, and can't imagine people particularly wanting to drive it. Like, instead of driving a Koenigsegg, they're going to drive an Austin Traveller. Or I keep calling it Austin, as I see it. It's a Morris Traveller. This, on the other hand, is alright. I think the sound really doesn't suit the car particularly well. It makes sense considering it's a John Cooper works. But I don't know, just seeing it with a convertible roof sound like that, it just doesn't seem right. But it's okay, I suppose. Yeah, there's not really much to say. Nothing going to be groundbreaking here, to be honest, considering we just got a couple of minis. Although I am very happy it is a mini DLC rather than like a Hoonigan or a rally truck or something. But I know we are getting a rally truck mini eventually, like in a couple of weeks, but there's only one. At least it wasn't something where you got like 8 different stupid custom like sort of custom vehicles or anything like that. So yeah, that's one thing I am pleased about. We are doing sort of going back to normal cars. And yeah, so they're not too bad either. They're sort of fun little things. I find this one's alright. So yeah, there we go. Just make sure if you are doing the festival playlist, don't bother doing the Horizon story. I find that completely and utterly wasteful. Like, I spent hours doing that, and it just gave you not anywhere near the effort translated into percentage. So yeah, pointless. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video today. I feel like I haven't been particularly helpful or useful or anything, as there hasn't been much to say. There's nothing really been groundbreaking or interesting to say. And yeah, these are pretty cool cars. I say this one's definitely worthwhile. I know the championship itself is a little bit difficult, and when I say it's difficult, it's more annoying in the fact that you're driving unsuitable vehicles on unsuitable terrain, which I find just can be a little bit hard, just make it a bit more difficult, which is all right. But considering what you're getting out of it, is a lot more for your effort in considering of the Morris. If it was the other way around, I think that would have been a little bit better. But yeah, I'm still very, very annoyed and a little bit skeptical about the IE Apollo IE Gumpert thing being on the cooperative event. That I'm very scared about. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.